to now, more than 1.2 million additional households countrywide have been connected to electricity. Makueni, of course, being part of that package. Honorable Speaker, during the financial years 2023, 2022-23, 23-24, and 24-25, the government has been able to allocate some Kenya shillings 2.03 billion for Makueni County under the last mile electricity projects, targeting some 18,320 households. A total cost of Kenya shillings 882,581,888 has been committed through REREC for implementation of some 139 projects. The list of these projects, Honorable Speaker, is provided under Annex 1, showing both the approved budgets and their current implementation status. There was a further 4 projects whose survey and design phases were completed and had been earmarked for implementation, but owing to resource constraints, could not be implemented as scheduled and were therefore deferred to the financial year 25-26. Honorable Speaker, Annexes 2, 3, 4, and 5 provide the details of the projects that have been implemented and those that are planned in Makueni County, including their constituencies and design status. Part B, the government of Kenya, as I've said, through the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, continues to implement various programs aimed at accelerating electricity access in counties where connectivity remains low, including Makueni County. To address funding constraints and expand rural electrification coverage, the government is pursuing additional financing from development partners to scale up ongoing initiatives under the last mile connectivity project and other complementary programs. In particular, the African Development Bank financed last mile connectivity project phase 3, which is currently under procurement, targets some 35 counties across the country, focusing on areas with low connection levels. Under this program, Honorable Speaker, Makueni County has been allocated approximately Kenya shillings 185 million, which will facilitate the construction of new low voltage distribution networks and transformer installations to connect hundreds of households. The ministry is also working closely with the Kenya Power and REREC to optimize available resources, rationalize existing infrastructure, and implement grid intensification and extension works to ensure equitable access across all counties. Honorable Speaker, the table that follows, of course, shows the summary of the last mile connectivity projects in Makueni County, with the amounts and the respective number of households. Part C, Honorable Speaker. The government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, in collaboration with development partners such as the World Bank, is implementing several initiatives to promote the adoption of solar and other off-grid renewable energy solutions among residents in arid and semi-arid regions. One of the flagship programs under this effort, Honorable Speaker, is the Kenya Off-Grid Solar Access Project, famously referred to as COSAP, which seeks to expand access to modern energy services in areas that are not viable for grid extension in the short term at a cost of US $150 million. The project targets 14 undeserved counties, as I've said, And these counties are Garissa, Isiolo, Kilifi, Kwale, Lamu, Mandera, Marsabit, Samburu, Tana River, Turkana, Wajir, West Pokot, Narok, and Taita Taveta. The objective of COSAP is to provide renewable energy access to approximately 37,107 households and 343 public facilities, including schools, health centers, and administrative offices, through solar mini-grids, standalone solar systems, and clean cooking solutions. Although, Honorable Speaker, Makueni County is not among the 14 counties targeted under the initial COSAP phase, the government continues to explore the expansion of similar off-grid renewable energy interventions to other counties with low access levels. In parallel, REREC is also implementing standalone solar systems and mini-grid projects across non-grid areas, complementing national electrification efforts. These initiatives collectively contribute to the realization of universal electricity access by the year 2030, as outlined in the Kenya National Electrification Strategy. Part D, Honorable Speaker, the aim of the ministry is to diversify the country's energy mix to ensure that we meet the rising demand for electricity. The current energy mix, Honorable Speaker, is as contained in the table that follows. I note, Honorable Speaker, that there are future possibilities based on the available information to tap into available renewable energy resources, in particular solar and wind, which I note is available in Makueni and various other areas in the country. And the ministry is in the process of exploiting the same. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, the ministry is transitioning to renewable energy auctions that will encourage the private sector to invest more into solar and wind resources and sell their power at competitive prices. These initiatives will ensure that we harness more power from solar and wind and diversify our energy mix. Honorable Speaker, let me hasten to add that finally the National Assembly, which is part of this parliament, has lifted the moratorium that was imposed by the same House some time back. And therefore, as a ministry and our respective implementing agency, that is Kenya Power, we are now more than free to engage in negotiations with the prospective independent power producers. This will go a long way in addressing the shortfall and indeed to attract more investments locally and foreign. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Manzo, do you have any supplementary questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Cabinet Secretary for the effort he has made, and he has clearly indicated that Makueni County doesn't have a budget on part of the solar powering. Recently, Mr. Speaker, the President, while in Qatar, talked about power rationing, and I believe this was with the advice of the Cabinet Secretary. Could he highlight, and when this power rationing happens, when will the people of Makueni be in a blackout so that we can plan ourselves much earlier, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Sears, just wait for a couple of questions, then you can respond to them at once. The Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.